Streamers are working out a lot more now, and as a personal trainer myself, it's honestly really great to see that streamers are deciding to showcase their workout lifestyle more and their health in general. And I definitely think that's a great inspiration to a lot of, the younger audience. Because we live in a world, especially with TikTok and Reels and short form content, where understanding like delayed gratification isn't something that you see a lot promoted in our lives nowadays. We're used to the instant gratification of things. We're used to sort of kind of like that dopamine that we get easily from a scroll. And I think that that can kind of, deteriorate people from being able to take their health seriously. Um, and it leads them into habits that aren't really the most like healthiest. And I think for people that are definitely younger as well, I think that that could be a detriment to a lot of people. I've trained a lot of teenagers, you know, it's hard for them to, I guess you could say, like, understand that there's a process to a lot of this stuff. It's not just something that you're going to do a quick push up routine and you're going to look like David Lade. That's not the reality. The reality of it is that it's a process that takes time and effort and many, 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 many months, heck, years, even decades to be able to get to the dream physique that you want to get to. So I think streamers being able to showcase that in their workouts and their streams overall, it really can create a great positive factor to a lot of children and teenagers and young people in general. Speed and Kai have been taking their health seriously for a while, and I honestly think that's pretty cool that they've been doing that. As well as other streamers as Jason Deline, Senna, Marlon definitely is like a great proponent of fitness as well. He's in really great shape. A lot of people are honestly doing a lot that they can to be able to take care of their health, and I think it's really cool. And given the right influences, they can be able to do the research properly to be able to make the right decisions on how they can take care of their health. The downside of it, unfortunately, is that there are going to be caveats that kind of make it difficult for a lot of people to take health seriously, or there's things that could kind of cause it to be like a bit more damaging to the youth. I think we're seeing a lot more gym inflation. We're seeing a lot more better physiques. Someone is way more bigger on a Sam Sulek level, and that kind of can discourage someone that's probably new to the gym to be able to take on weightlifting because they're seeing people that are their age or younger, 15 to 16, whatever the case may be, and they're like bigger. And I feel like it's always been a prevalence within people that are young, but I feel like especially now in short form content, people are a lot more willing to talk about their cycles. Peptides are starting to become a lot more of a trending topic, and a lot of people are willing to do that. Another dangerous thing as well is that like looks maxing is becoming pretty prominent within people our age and way younger, especially teenagers, and people like Clavicular and Androgenic and like all these other influencers are kind of pushing that agenda, and I kind of feel like it's not causing a great impact for us, because you don't want to push a narrative for people to do the absolute most just to get their looks right? And yeah, harsh truth is we live in a society that's gonna care about looks more. The more attractive you are, the more that you're willing to get certain advantages, you're gonna probably be treated better. That is a reality and we can't hide against that. But just because that's the reality, I'm in a different room. But what I was sharing before is that just because it's the reality doesn't mean that we should sabotage ourselves or damage ourselves from who we are as ourselves to fit the mold of what society wants us to be, or the standard of what beauty is. At the end of the day, we are all who we are, and we shouldn't have to conform to whatever society tells us we should. I think that we're more than that, and I think that we should try to do better than that. And I'm not saying that like a lot of streamers do this anyway, but I know that when it comes to streamers and like edits like a lot of Marlon eds like have like part of the black pill community, and you see a lot of like black pill eds with like Marlon and like his looks and his physique, and I feel like that can kind of lead to a very bad trap if you're not careful with your usage and like what you promote. Um, so I think we have to just be careful about that. I also think that there could be a lot of sensationalism. Um, Diamond Gym is like a great example. Now, I understand the reason that Diamond Gym is like popular and like why it exists. I'll probably explain more in a different video, but I can kind of understand like why Diamond Gym exists. Um, I think that it is important for a lot of young audiences to understand that you do have to have a mental fortitude about certain challenges in life. You shouldn't just like easily give up on something just because it's hard or just because it's challenging. Life isn't going to inherently be the most pleasant at times, and you have to kind of learn to push through that, and to have the mental fortitude to move forward and face that adversity and face that challenge. So the meaning is there, and I respect it heavily, but then you just have the fact that you have to do like 50 to like 1,000 push-ups in between like 1,000 tricep extensions. You gotta like do this like bamboo bar thing, to be able to like do a full rep. You're using chains, and that isn't necessarily the most accurate when it comes to the leverages of how heavy the weight might be. Yeah, just like there's that. There's like screaming and hollering like crazy. They're very strong dudes. Unk and Hadi, very strong dudes, but it's like you don't need to be doing all that to have a good workout, You know what I'm saying? And part of me doubts that that's like actually how they train like every day. I mean, maybe they do once in a while, and I mean they can handle it. They can handle that type of workout, but it's like to do that every day, I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. But I'm not one to judge. Like at the end of the day, it's like if that's how they go about their training, cool. But I don't think everybody should like train to that degree. Like that's crazy, So it's kind of a mixed bag with Diamond Gym, and I think overall, like there's a good of that and the bad of it. I also think that the sensualization of streamers going there just for clicks and views, it kind of can take away from the true meaning of fitness. Being able to improve yourself, being able to do better than the next day, being able to look yourself in the mirror and be like, hey, I'm facing something that's hard, lifting 25 pounds of weight, lifting 100 pounds of weight, much weight, right? Putting your body through so much resistance isn't easy, and you have to face that, and you have to face yourself and look yourself in the mirror and say like, hey, I'm facing this, but this is for the betterment of my own health. And I think that's an important message that a lot of people, especially young audiences with these streamers, can take away when they see that their favorite streamer works out. Is that, hey, they're doing something positive for their health, and do the same thing. And obviously you might be into it for like the aesthetics and the girls and all the extrinsic factors, but eventually the intrinsic factors will take its role. And I think that's what you have to keep on going for. So those are my takes on streamers working out. A lot of lessons, but I think overall, there's something to be learned, and I think that's important, and I'm happy that I could share that. Probably going to talk about Diamond Gym in the next video, so stay tuned. And that's about it. See ya.